Guys, welcome to episode 8 of the Khanaprep podcast. I'm here today with my co-host MASOOD and a very, very important guest with me. I think in one of our previous podcasts we mentioned I have today my instructor, Sensei Anas. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Welcome to today's podcast. Today is going to be a firing podcast. We're going to be talking about everything about martial arts, movies, training. What we're going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about UFC, wrestling, the whole shebang.
Whole shebang. If you're interested in anything, this is the podcast to listen to. If you're wanting to get into any type of mixed martial art, combat sport, we've got the perfect person to talk to.
You can see Masood's been training all his life. No, I'm joking.
Of course. Since I came out the womb.
So today is all about you. Today we're going to be talking about, obviously I've been training with you. I was under your wing since I was 14 years old. I think I was this big when I was there. So today, but it's not about me today. Here is about you today. We want to hear everything. So the first question I want to ask you today is from a childhood, martial arts. You know, how important was martial arts to you when you started? When did you start? What was the age when you started doing martial arts?
So you're going to know me everything today.
Everything.
About me now. All secret, everything. Inshallah. I was in the past about 12 years old. I really interested. Actually, everybody watching the martial art movie, Enter the Dragon, slowly Van Damme's film. Then I was really interested about the martial art. Even before I classes, I train at the park, just fighting the boys for fun, not serious issue. Then slowly I have a couple of elder brothers in Sri Lanka. They train separately. I'm watching what they're doing. Even my younger brother before me, he training as well. Then I really interested. The slowly. Sometimes my brother he beat me, and I just taking. Still is smaller than me, right?
Yeah.
So my family 4 members, 1 sister, 2 brothers. Then he started to train. Then I really interested. Then after training, I joined with the brothers. They train a lot of fitness stuff, and I try everything because the young blood that time, and I want to try everything. Then finally, I found chose Taekwondo. Then because I like to see when I see the Van Damme kicking, I really interested.
Before you went to Taekwondo, when you were growing up, what other martial arts did you? Were your brothers? What martial arts were they doing?
Officially, I chose Taekwondo. Before that, I trained with some adult, not in the class. They take me to the park, and something like they're doing kung fu that time. I'm not interested about the kung fu anyway. Then slowly when I choose Taekwondo, because I like to kick, then I chose Taekwondo. I think maybe 13 to 40 years old. Then when I start. I met there's a main instructor named Rafaidin, but he's around the world. He's flying all the time. Then they take him called Mohtar Master. We call Master in Taekwondo. We call Master, not Sensei. It's a Korean martial art.
Korean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taekwondo is a Korean martial art.
Okay.
More towards kicking.
Was that a popular martial art at the time? Because I think every generation there's a popular form of martial art. Like these days it's everything on the UFC, people want to see it.
Previously chose Taekwondo is the very famous. That's why I chose that one.
Okay.
Then same time when I chose Taekwondo, then I met Master Moidin. He's teaching Shotokan that time. I talking about 93, 94.
So what's the difference between Taekwondo and Shotokan?
Shotokan is a Japanese martial art. That's sports karate. That's all control. Actually, the discipline coming from chose Taekwondo and Shotokan, the principle is very good. So that's the way coming from. But it's not. I come back to it later. And then I Shotokan. Then the Moidi master. I train hard those days. I don't do any competition.
When you train hard, what do you mean? So how many hours were you training? How many days were you training?
Right. If I go morning time gym every day.
Morning?
Morning.
In the morning, how morning?
Maybe 5-6 days maybe. because that's the only focus. I'm training, and even I had the ambition. I want to fight in the film as well. Those days when I see the Van Damme films, then alhamdulillah, it's not a good thing, but I done anyway that one as well.
Okay. So you fought in films,
yes,
like in the film industry.
Yes, I work with that as well. So
we'll talk about that in a second. We'll come back.
Okay.
then after that, when the Moidi master, he encouraged me, you're training hard, why not try yourself to go for competitions? Because you're very close with me. Before I called brother, after that I called master. Master, brother, then I called master. Then he said, come and train with me as well, then you have a different experience. Yeah, then there is competition coming, Choto Khan Black Belt National Championship in those days. In Sri Lanka. Yeah, then they have 4 students. Then he grade me, and he select me for the take to the competition of national championship. It's in 1993 or 4.
I just was born, I think.
Then I done the grading. The black belt, they take me to the competition. Alhamdulillah. All the fight I win, I be my weight category, I'm champion. I come national champion. From there, they have a following year, they have a world championship in South Africa. So I'm in the national pool, and I went to South Africa 1996 World Championship.
Oh wow!
Yes.
How old were you at the time? What was your age?
22.
So 22, you were a world champion.
I went.
You went to the world championship.
Okay.
So
Yes.
in terms of just before as you were training, was this a full-time thing for you? So is this what you were doing full-time, just training, fighting, fighting?
Training, fighting. I always going to pray. At a young age, I start to pray, and this is my lifestyle. Training, gym. That's all I did.
And did you have family support? I mean, were they encouraging? Were they like, no, you shouldn't be fighting, you should be doing something else?
No. Everybody happy about that, because this is the thing protect me on the young age. I never go to. They have a choice, and you can do whatever you like to do. So I just wanna fight the field. I wanna go worldwide for the competition. All my ambition and dream, it's happened already. Alhamdulillah.
Wow. MashaAllah.
Yeah,
So
that age.
it's good to hear that, because a lot of obviously may Allah bless our parents, but a lot of parents don't push kids if they got talent in sports like football or boxing or MMA. They don't push them into that. But it's refreshing to hear that your parents actually supported you in your journey, in your ambitions. So that's actually refreshing to hear.
Definitely. Because a lot of parents, I think, they're apprehensive. You know, they want kids have talent, but you know they're apprehensive. Are they going to be financially secure? Are they going to be able to hold down our family? If they're going to be fighting, what if they get injured? So were you ever worried? Was your family ever injured about getting injured?
That age you won't worry about injured. You just want to train, fight. That's all. You know, that's it. Different. Yeah.
What was the, sorry to cut you off, but what was interesting to know, it was this was around 95, 96, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And you were 22 years old, and you were going around the world training at these different championships, competing. What was the because MMA now is different to MMA then. Now there's a lot of more of a structure. If you want to go in, you can actually structurally get into something and maybe make it to the top rank. But back then, was it too different? And also, what was the financial type of backing? Like, were people paying you to do this, or was it like, did you have another job while you were doing this? I was just curious to know.
When I was in Sri Lanka, you're talking about?
When you were competing, when you were training, when you were going to these championships, was it already paid for? Was it people paying you to do it?
No, at the moment, those days, it's not like that. Actually, my competition all worldwide starting from 2000.
Okay.
I went actually 1996.
Yes.
Then when I come to UK, I promote Kudo.
So when you went to South Africa, what happened for the world championship? Taekwondo, isn't it?
No, it's a Choto Khan.
Okay.
Choto Khan. And 2000, I went to Ireland for Taekwondo. Actually, we done good, but it's not easy. With a lot of countries take part, they went in. So they got opportunity to fight and didn't win actually.
In South Africa?
Yeah, didn't win. But the national level, alhamdulillah, 3-4 times I'm not national champion. So yeah, that's the situation.
No, I mean, was the earnings that you were getting from these competitions enough to support your journey like that? Like, because the only reason I'm asking is because obviously these days you I know like amateur boxers in Slough, like if they can make a good highlight reel, they can go to a boxing promoter and they can pay up to £10,000 per fight. But I don't know what this financial situation was like back then. You were saying that you were traveling around the world. Was your fighting career financially supporting you, or did you have a different job supporting it? If that makes sense.
Were you self-financing yourself, or did the fighting make you money, or was it you had to have a separate job?
No. We have to have financially. We spend own pocket.
Oh wow.
Yes,
Okay.
those days is different. Now it's different. Because the big difference when we start martial art and now even I tell you, even when you training in Sri Lanka, we throw in the cement. We don't have a mats.
Wow.
Now everybody have a comfortable training method, shin pad.
Yeah.
We don't use them. We just fight without that.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the situation. A lot of things change. Now easy, they are lucky actually. Trust me, if you have a same situation that those days, I'm trying to go UFC as well. Understand? Because that's the financial situation is the biggest issue along those days. You know, and that's why my planning now. At least I have a son. I train him. At least I focus him to move forward. Like what I'm missing from the martial arts side, I train my son for that.
Wow. So after you did South Africa, and then so when did you decide to come from? So was that all your fighting career in Sri Lanka? When did that change? So when did you come to the UK, and did you continue your martial arts career here in the UK?
Yes.
So when did you come to the UK?
I come to 1999. Then I'm planning to go Japan and train there. I can continue martial arts, Kudo.
So how did you come across Kudo then? So
Right.
So we were Shotokan, Taekwondo.
Right.
So how does Kudo come around?
Yes. What happened when we do that? The master Shihan Moidin from Sri Lanka, he found the Kudo that was the name called Daidojuku. So he found Kudo. Then he introduced in Sri Lanka about 1994. They invited Grandmaster Azuma Takashi in Sri Lanka. Then I had a big seminar those days. That big seminar. Then I went to join the seminar. Then I thought, yes, this is the one I'm looking for, because everything mixed martial art. That day I joined for Kudo, 1994, around that time.
As a student or as a teacher?
I'm teaching. Also, I teaching that time start from the Kudo and Taekwondo as well. Mainly, I start teaching Kudo from Sri Lanka from 1995. From there, then when I come here, I found one person next door. Luckily, he come out with the Taekwondo suit. That time I couldn't find a state martial art instructor, so trainer, someone like that. His name Lennox Carty.
Okay.
He's known Taekwondo instructor.
Okay. In the UK.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Slough, I met him.
Oh wow.
Then I see him and I talk to him. I started training with him. A couple of WTF competition I took part in UK as well.
Okay.
One European, one national one. Unfortunately, that's going to disqualify because the Taekwondo not allowed to punch the face.
Okay.
So I did, and they disqualified me. Then I thought I better carry on what I learned. The Daidojuku, Kudo Daidojuku. Then I talked to my Shihan Moidin. I would like to start Kudo in UK. It's a 2002 or 3. Then I have a conversation with the Grandmaster Azuma Takashi. Then he visit to UK. Then we had a meeting. Then we start to give chance to open the Kudo dojo in 2003. That time, no in Kudo in UK.
There's no one doing Kudo.
I'm
in
the
UK.
first person bring Kudo in UK.
Wow.
Yes. Now this day, now social alhamdulillah, they build up now different branches. Some people work with me. Then I create a few people. Now they have own clubs.
Okay.
So I'm running Kudo as well now. Southeast England.
So in terms of the Kudo martial arts, how is it different from Taekwondo and Shotokan and any other martial arts?
Kudo, if you compare to example, if I say MMA and Kudo, same things happening there. There's a ground fight, judo techniques, everything. And one thing I like the Kudo, when you go to the ground, they don't punch the face. They have a discipline, respect. We have we're gonna put the head guard as well.
The mask.
Yeah. Kudo headgear. So it's comfortable for small and everyone. They have a safe side and
so there's security and comfortability.
Security and comfortable. Then I thought I better continue this. Then I joined and I continue UK.
So why did the Grandmaster choose to go with, because it's very unseen in any martial arts, like on a competition level, they have masks in front of their face. Why did, or do you know the reason why, in Kudo or the Grandmaster, why he chose to put a mask in front of the face?
Grandmaster is coming from Kyokushin. Kyokushin karate in Japan is a very known person. He has a world record as well. It's very good. The Kyokushin is the martial art. They don't have a face punches, the body punch. This I heard and understand about that. That's why I explained a little bit. They have always thigh kick. They target the thigh kicks. Then a lot of people injured, disabled, that kind of situation come. Then he choose to open Daidajuku. I believe that's the way it's come forward. Yeah. Then he made a style. Unfortunately, luckily that's good. I don't know why he do that with head mask for the protection. It's a very useful. So even the kids, I'm really enjoy that because the kids, when you fight, it's a difficult at the moment. Beginning, it's not easy to wear a mask. It's very difficult
to have a mask and fight.
Yes,
it's steaming and it gets
steaming. So sometimes it happens, but the thing is, everybody have to have their own one. They have to practice with that. Even other countries, example Russia, Japan, they train hours and hours with the helmet because they have own one they're using. So if you even good fighter suddenly wear the helmet, it's confuse you definitely.
Because I would assume if you're wearing a helmet, you don't have you can't use your other senses, huh? Like meaning like.
You can, but I think it's more of because it restricts your head. It is a little bit of weight on your head, and you have to control your breathing.
Yeah, breathing systems changes. Yeah.
Okay.
So
when you're fighting, you're breathing like your heart rate increases and everything like that. You like to have that restriction. You have to.
So you have to train with it. So that's a training. That's a training in itself.
Whatever you put mask, still you get damage.
Okay.
So vibration, the punch, you still get injured. What come you will that's. But better than without helmet. It's a better with the helmet.
So you still, if you get punched in the face with a mask, you will still feel the punch.
You feel the impact.
Course.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, vibrate your mind.
Okay.
It's
awesome.
very effective.
Yeah.
If you one day you could try with the MOHSIN.
Yeah, I'd love to punch him in the face. I'd love to. I'm joking.
You want to put the mask on?
No, I'm joking. No, that's not gonna happen.
So with the Kudos, did you compete when you came to the UK? So did you continue your competitions, or did you just go back into streeting straight after?
I done one world championship in Japan. I think 2006. It's a world championship happening every 4 years. So yes, I done one world championship, and I didn't go through actually because it's not easy. 45, 50 countries coming. It's a good experience.
Yeah.
And yeah. Then I done one K1 Taekwondo. I done everything in the beginning. Now I don't have a time for training for fight. Now I train people to get in there, different competition, K1, different MMA, and yeah.
So I was curious to know, like with this film story. Where did this come in to the play? Did it come after you came into the UK or before?
No, before in Sri Lanka.
Okay. So how did you come up? How did you find the opportunity, and what was the process in getting it?
1996, there's a film Bloodsport Part 3.
Okay.
His shooting take place from Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Then they need a fighters.
Stuntmen or fighters?
Fighters.
Yeah, fighters. Yeah.
Actually, the martial art and the ring fight.
Okay.
I sent it to MOHSIN anyway, the fight. Then they visit all the martial art classes to select the fighters. Then one of my friend, he do different martial art. He said, today they're going to come to us to check the fighters. You come to my class. And then they check. Straight away, they look at me in the back. He asked me to come forward.
Who, the person who was doing...
The fighting directors.
Oh, the fighting directors. Okay.
Yes. I'm like, and I work hard for my kicks. I'm confident in my kicks. That's why they choose me, actually.
Okay.
Then he give the card, come to the hotel.
Wow. Yeah.
Then the biggest surprise and shocked me is the main man for the film, which is Taekwondo. I done Chos Taekwondo. It's a grandmaster coming for the film.
Okay, wow.
Mm-hmm. Who was that? Do we know?
Chos Taekwondo, Master Heel Cho.
Okay.
He was coming to Sri Lanka.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's the style I did, Chos Taekwondo.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
So it was a coincidence. You didn't know this.
Yeah.
Wow.
So who was the biggest person, or who were the people that you met during the movie set? As in,
Was it?
Movies.
No. So was it Bloodsport 3? Was it
Yeah,
something?
it's called Daniel Bernhardt.
Okay.
Daniel Bernhardt is a good famous guy. He's done a lot of films as well. Then what happened after that?
How was the experience? So, like, as in, how difficult was it to fight in the movies? As in, how often do you? What was the?
If
structure?
you see the film, the few minutes, the shooting take place all night.
Oh wow! So you're recording the whole day, the whole night, and there's only 3 minutes on the camera.
Yes.
Wow.
So what were they trying to show? So why were you shooting for the whole night?
It's a good thing is still I remember fight without hurting, like the
Pretending.
action.
Yeah.
I learned that quickly. You can see the film. It's not really fighting, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the good thing I learned actually. How to move around when I punch
Yeah.
and act like you get hit the punch like that.
So if I watch that film, would I see you in the film?
Yeah, I've got the clip.
Legit?
Yeah, I've got the clip. Yeah.
But you can't see me like that anyway.
Okay.
It's a different actually. I have long hair.
Oh, okay. Old school.
So how many days did you have to shoot with them for?
I involve, I think, few weeks keep going and come. Then I'm with the stunt team. Yeah. Then that film then done. They left. Then after some time, the Bombay, my Moideen Master Moideen got opportunity to start Kudo in Bombay. Bombay, this is 96 actually.
Yeah.
96, 97, yeah. Then Moideen Master said she will go Bombay, we introduce Kudo there. Then me and Moideen Master went Bombay. One of our friend, he take us for the place everywhere. Then he do shooting, so he done some films as well. Then I start to do the class there, the Bombay called Mira Road. Then when I come to the class, some students are film producers. When they train with them, they interested to take me to the film.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. So
Sounds like quite a celebrity, yeah.
yeah. Then
You either get your shirt signed, no?
No, so that's amazing. So by coincidence, there was a opportunity for the Bloodsport 3. It was coming to Sri Lanka. Your friend said, "Come to my gym and you can train, and you might have an opportunity." They liked your training, and they called you to fight in the film, to act in the film, and you actually in the movie. Maybe we could clip that somehow, Safyan. And then by chance you went to Bombay, and there was film producers training in the camp, and they wanted to make another film with you.
yes,
So that's amazing.
Did you end up doing it?
yes, I do couple of them, but I don't want to mention the name. I met Jackie Sharaf,
Okay.
Sharat Kapoor, there's some Aisha Julka, they have
Yeah.
some couple of films.
Was it Bollywood?
Have you got those
Bollywood,
clips?
yeah.
Okay.
Have you got those clips though?
Yeah, the blood sports is fine, it's a sports. That's not my choice actually. Unfortunately, I have to, because when I see this film, then I said, I want to fight only. Then my friend say, my friend, if you want to fight, you have a reason for fight. You can't just fight. It's not martial art film.
Okay.
Understand? So then I done that film. Then I'm not happy actually.
Yeah.
My focus.
Uncomfortable with the.
Yes, I won't just fight the martial art film. That's all.
Yeah.
Then when done the film, when I the shooting, actually I go real actually.
Yeah.
Real mean that time I do quick. Then the producer say, calm down. He advised me. Then I slowly I learn how to control and everything. I know how to control, but the situation, the film are different.
Wow.
Then I done that. After that shooting, my friend talked to them. I can't speak properly Hindi that time. Then producers, they really like me. Then my friend said to me, my friend, we can leave the Kudo one side at the moment. They like you to take you the stunts, the film side directly. Then, unfortunately, that time is Ramadan.
Okay.
Right? I'm really, how much I do inside is something
Something's like hurting you.
Hurting and not right.
Yeah.
Then I just called one of my religious person in Sri Lanka. I said, this is a situation. They asked me to come, what to do. He said to me, they have a choice, dunya or
Deen.
deen. So I had to choose that. Then Alhamdulillah, Allah protect me from there. I told my friend, I said, I'm going to leave Bombay. I think I'm going to stop. Before come to UK, I think, before come to India, I had another film, Son of the Sandokan as well.
Yeah.
You know the Khabib Bedi, the famous actor.
I'm not familiar with Bollywood.
He's old, I think. How old are you now?
He turned 14 yesterday.
So I talk about old story anyway.
Yeah.
The Khabib Bedi, that's he's living in Italy. The Italian movie, Son of the Sandokan. I do different characters, long hair, short hair, big beard. Anyway, then I come from Bombay. Then Alhamdulillah, I give up the film side.
Okay. You just didn't feel comfortable doing it.
I think that's an important lesson there as well. That sometimes people, to achieve their dreams, are willing to give up their ethical values, morals, and ethical values. And I think that's very important. One of the things I really liked about Sensei when I started training in Kudo was when we were trained, and still today, and I think I mentioned on the last podcast. Remember, I think the last podcast I mentioned I was going to start training. So I had my first session with Sensei after a long time after my injury last week. Is that there was always that feeling that morals were never going to be, they were never going to be discounted. They were always going to stay there. And that's very important, especially in the movies. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, there's people out there who die to go to the movies.
There's people that literally, because it's funny that you mentioned that film. I used to work in film when I still look 15, but when I was 15, 16, 17 years old, I used to work in film. In that environment, people will literally give up their arms and legs to work in like a big production or like any type of production just to get their name out there. So it's refreshing to hear that because of your morals and because of the fact it was Ramadan, subhanAllah, and you just said, I just don't feel right in doing it.
And now that Sensei got the experience of it, I think we could make small movie clips.
Oh, good fun.
Like in those trailers, like 2-minute trailers.
I was just gonna say, man, you're definitely a celebrity to me, man. You starred alongside Pat Maria, who's Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid.
Oh, really?
You starred alongside
Pat
Mr.
Maria?
Miyagi. Do you know? You must know Karate Kid, right?
Yeah,
Mr. Miyagi, you starred alongside him. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think we should do these little movie clips, I'm teaching discipline, 2-minute, 3-minute clips. We should do that. I think that'd be great. That'd be great fun.
Yeah, no problem.
So did you ever? Was there any point after you left the movie scene that you thought, maybe I could have continued. Maybe I could have continued in this capacity. Did you ever think that afterwards?
No, definitely not. Because Alhamdulillah, but from young age I start to pray. I have a fear Allah inside. It is bother me all my life. That's why if I want to enjoy my life, I have a good opportunity. But Alhamdulillah, I give up that. Now Alhamdulillah, the way I'm very happy on my martial art club, teaching, and I'm happy about. I'm Alhamdulillah, Shukur to Allah, I come out from that side.
Wow.
It's looking good. Everybody like that. Even some religious people ask me, well, why you give up film?
Yeah.
And they don't have even why I give up.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? They think that's like a...
That's up there, isn't it? Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
What would you, so now that you obviously you trained, you know, a lot of your life, I mean, as long as I can remember, I've seen you in the gym. What would you say from a mindset perspective, what makes a complete martial artist? You know, is martial arts, like what makes a martial artist? What makes a fighter? What makes a complete fighter? What do you think, what are the key ingredients for that type of person? Is it mindset? Is it, you know, just being able to knock somebody out? Is it discipline? What are the main ingredients, do you think, in your years of teaching students?
Main thing is to learn humbleness and discipline. So everything about intention. Your intention make different what you do. I know some Sri Lankan couple of instructors. They are very famous. They misuse the martial arts. They are in the now wheelchair.
Wow.
Because that's the thing. Because in my life, I never fight in the street. Only competition in the film fight. Because my intention not to misuse my martial art. If you have intention something, you misuse a martial art, you're not going to go forward. That's the only thing.
So that's one thing. So you're saying humbleness and discipline is very important in martial arts. What makes a good fighter? I mean, can anybody become a good fighter?
Right. Definitely, you need one coach. Somebody support you all the time. Sometimes some people learn a little bit, then they think they are perfect. But still I'm teaching, I'm learning as well. So like, because something come up, I call. Still, I have a contact with my Shian Mohideen. Anything come up, I'm not going to take my own decision. I always I make a discussion, mashura with my master. So always I have to follow the ustad, like I said, you know. If you go that way, you're not going wrong.
So you're always making sure you're always in contact with the people that taught you, and you're seeking their counsel.
That is important part. If you can see, the one thing is a martial art, always people dividing. So when you train sometime, you think, oh, enough from this side, I'm going to say something else. You can learn, that's fine. You can learn every martial arts, but you need to never forget past. You have to always respect the past. You can't, you know, it's not going to happen if you have a different mindset after that.
Definitely. So you're saying obviously discipline needs to be there. Your respect for the teacher needs to be there. And what about the actual skill of fighting? So, you know, the ability to fight, your ability to punch, your ability to kick, your ability to, you know, control a fight. What makes a difference between somebody who is a complete fighter versus somebody who's not a complete fighter? What do you think the main difference is between them? Is it because one has trained more? Because let's say two people are training 10 hours each. They're not going to be the same fighter, are they? What makes the difference?
I tell you, some of them naturally strong mindset to fight. Some of them, how much they train hard, they have a fear inside to fight. So that's the difference. If you have you can see some places, I can see even some classes, juniors beat seniors, because mentally they're strong.
So there's a mental strength.
Mental strength, yeah, that's the thing. If you have a fear, you're not gonna, you can't actually really put your techniques on the floor. Mentally, it's amazing.
So if somebody has a fear of doing something, how would you as an instructor work on developing their fear? So for example, how do you, so let's say there's a student coming on their own, they're training, they're doing everything, and now they want to fight, and you realize that they're apprehensive, you know, they're not completing it, they're apprehensive. How would you tackle that? Like, as in, how have you had to tackle that? Or have you had the need to tackle that? Have you had the need to have you had the student who was scared? Have you had to work with any student who was scared, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you realize, okay, now, you know, they're not scared anymore, they're not afraid anymore? Because sometimes I feel that fear is in the mind, isn't it? You know, if I, you know, what's going to happen? Shall I fight? I'm going to get hurt. Sometimes they're more worried about I'm going to get injured. You know. So what have you ever worked with students like that, and how have you found what's worked best for them?
How can I say that? some people, I think I got some student, even they still weak, I always, they're better. We're not gonna, they don't want to know they are weak. Understand? Always need to push them, always give thumbs up, always make them happy. So even I know some students still like that. So just, if you want to be best fighter, you have to always fight. You can't just learn and stay one side. You have to try to fight. Always fight with the friendly. Because when you in the class, they have a fighting, different method of fighting. Soft sparring, light contact. Some of them can't control, like a MOHSIN before, can't control.
His anger.
No, it's not anger. It's not anger. I have a couple of students.
Yeah.
Here, how much I ask you to control, they don't have control.
Okay.
So,
Maybe we should knock man's out.
yeah, the main thing, I think one thing, I can push them, I can train hard, I can do that. But main thing is, I can do certain level.
It's up to them.
Up to them.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Always have a coach. When they guide you, you have to follow that. Always have to listen that. Otherwise, if I can see every student who is the best. When I train them, when I teach them, when they're doing, I can understand this person gonna be future, have a good future. Because you can see some kids, they not think about what's gonna happen next step. MashaAllah, they're very talented. That's natural. Some of them scared. Then I had to control that kind of children. The good thing is the parents need to understand when you come to full contact. It's not like a normal sparring. The full contact, they make you real fighter.
Yeah.
Not sports karate. So I really need a parent support. Then everything is okay. Because I know some parents say, I train the boy very good. They train hard. He still say, push him. I know the limit. But can't do too much over the limit. But I like that kind of parents actually. Understand?
Because they're willing to give you they're willing to put things in your hands. They're allowing you to develop it as much as you want.
You say some parents say, sensei, it's your children, you do to hit him. That kind of parents, I have some of them. So, yeah, we have sometimes, there's some kids are soft hearts, sometimes strong,
So how long sorry for cutting you off, give me a second. How long have you been teaching Kudo here in the UK? It's 20 years now?
I start 2003.
So how many years is that now? Huh? Yeah, that's about 13 odd years now. So what's been your biggest sort of learning curve as a teacher? As in, obviously, I remember when we used to train, we've changed, we went to different locations. I know you've trained everywhere in Slough, you've gone outside Slough, you've done London, I think you've gone Wales, you've done seminars, you've held competitions. What have all your dreams been complete? And what would you like to happen in yours? Because obviously you're an instructor. For those of you guys who don't know, Sensei, runs a martial arts called Kudo Dai the Juko. You can check him out on the website as well. He has his own club. He teaches kids from aged all the way from kids 4 years old all the way to adults, one-to-one classes. So he's got hundreds of students underneath him. I think there's not a single person in the locality that doesn't know of the instructor here. But there must have been a learning curve. There must have been, okay, do you know what? This is what I have. This is where I was, but this is what I would like to do. Do you have anything like that? Anything that you would want us to get behind, or you want the community to sort of support? Now, what would you really like? What would be a dream come true?
Dream, actually, it's sad to say I don't have actually at the moment own dojo. Right, that's my dream.
But that's not stopped you though, because you've still got hundreds of students without a dojo.
But I want to open for everyone, 7 days a week, adults, children. That's my future plan, and inshallah, all was going well at the moment. And I have my future plan as well. I never launched yet something new, but after that I'll let you know. Because
maybe we'll have you on another podcast talking about that.
Reason is Kudo. plus something else I'm introducing soon. Because like you say, the UFC and different thing, some of them fight, some of them like to fight different way, some of them, because we are doing Kudo like traditional martial art, more into gi and more different culture. But when it comes to MMA, they don't want to wear the suit. They have to have a short and tie, rash guard.
Can somebody who fights in Kudo pick up and go to UFC? How difficult is that transition for them?
That's my goal. That's my planning now, to train different way. For I have a people to choose. Now I chosen people actually. I know who wanna go for cage side, who wanna go for the Kudo side. I decide that. That's the way my future plan going to change.
But how different is the fighting style? Is there a huge difference? Is there a big difference between Kudo and UFC? Like why? Because when I see Kudo and you know when I see fights, you know you train and then you see UFC, you find that there's not much difference. You know you can apart from the fact that the mask will come off and now there's an actual risk of getting hit in your face and you know training for that. What is the biggest difference, or in your opinion, what do you think the biggest difference is?
Biggest difference is the UFC don't have a control. We have a limit. We have a control because we can't do everything like UFC. Like I said, we don't have to do the blood game like UFC. Can even blood come there. We don't have that part in Kudo. More
control.
More control.
Of course. So there's that level of respect. No,
Yeah.
that does make sense. You're on your question. I can tell you that you're going to say something. Go
No,
on.
I mean I was curious. Like Kudo, would you say that's the superior mixed martial art? Because for me, I personally like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I want to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's something that I want to get into and properly learn. I don't know if there's like a thing around locally that I can do it. But how different does Kudo have? What elements does it have from other
Jiu-Jitsu. So I think the question you're asking is Kudo. How many different martial arts does it have in there, and does it also have a component of Jiu-Jitsu in there?
Yeah.
Right. Kudo is Japanese mixed martial art.
Okay.
Right. The main thing is Japanese martial art. It's not 100% ground fight. Right. It's a certain level. We can't continue on the ground. We have the original fight. We have a couple of times. After you can't go ground. You have to fight standing.
So it's
more
restriction.
Restriction, yeah. So, for example, because UFC, they have their timing, they keep blocking and Kudo like that. So, few seconds they're gonna tap. They have a time limit. Then ask you to fight back again.
So it's majority on the feet.
Yeah, I think was it 2 minutes, 3 minutes? How long do you have? I think there's a certain number of time you have on the floor.
Yeah.
And then you have to, because I think it's the interest to keep the fight running, then stand you back up again, and then you can fight there, and you can end up on the floor again. But there's a certain time restriction you have on the floor, and then you have to get up and start again.
Any one time on the floor is only allowed 2 to 3 minutes.
I'm not too sure about them.
No, two times you can take it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
The main thing is the people now learn everything. That's the way Kudo. You know, it's not even not 50%. It's 30-40% use the ground. But now everyone changed. Now even worldwide Kudo, even they do Kudo, they do Jiu-Jitsu, everything. Reason is you can do, this is a mixed martial art as well.
Yeah.
So more you learn, sometimes some people are good with the strike. Personally, I like strikes. I do the ground techniques, I do learning as well, but I'm more confident standing.
Okay.
Personally, if you go straight, if you look small place, you're gonna find it. You're not going to do jiu-jitsu there.
Yeah.
You need to use an elbow and knee attack or something. Understand?
Are you talking about if someone attacks you on the street? Like
Yes.
You're gonna have to be
that's
standing
why,
up.
yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I respect all martial arts. We need to learn everything. When you come competition, yes, Kudo. If you have more jiu-jitsu, more chance to win as well, because you can do anything there. If you can't standing fight, you can take it to the ground and.
What's your opinion on? Sorry to go. What's your opinion on the UFC? Do you watch it? Do you have a favorite fighter?
Yeah, even I watching, I love them. Yes.
Okay. Do you have a favorite fighter? Is there anyone that you look at closely? You think, oh wow, that guy's good.
You know, the Khabib is the best one, always.
Yeah.
The Islam is coming.
Yeah.
And a few people, I forgot the name.
How do you feel about McGregor? I'm sure you're going to have an opinion on McGregor. How do you feel about him?
You know, I told you about the discipline, humbleness. You don't have that.
Yeah.
Right?
He did when you started.
That's acting, I think.
Yeah. It's to promote the fight.
That's the promote the fight. So if you be humble, last fight, you try to have a good fight. Because this is the thing, people, you always need to respect. That's the only thing I don't like the UFC. When you face off, they're going to argue. This drama need to be stopped. If they teach little bit respect, then fight will be different. I think Khabib will change that.
But I guess you know, with the squaring off, that's how casual fans get interested.
Yeah,
Like if it's a pure sport, and I understand the fact people need to be humble. And Khabib always says MMA is about being humble. But if the unfortunate thing is, if people don't because
of that, going for personal, you can see a lot of fighters.
Yeah.
They swearing religious.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
If you have if it's in what do you call UFC Dana, you have a seriously the contract with before fight. You have respect each other.
Yeah.
The more it's completely different. When you come to sports, you can't say that, You have to always need to be different.
No, I understand. I understand from a sport.
I know exactly what you said. The people
from watching, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like when it came to the Khabib and the McGregor one, like when they first fought, obviously they only fought once. When they first fought, I didn't know who Khabib was until that fight. Because there was so much media and what was being said, and everyone had to tune in for that. Like, what the hell? Why is he swearing at his religion? Why is he swearing at his dad? Why is there a chair being thrown at a bus? What's going on? And that whole thing made people listen and made people watch that fight. And a lot of people after that fight realized who Khabib was. Oh wow, Khabib's actually a really good fighter. That's when the Poirier fight, people tuned in. The Gaethje fight, people tuned into that because of that thing. And I understand. From a martial arts point of view, from a purist point of view, that's not needed.
I find it,
personally,
I find it quite really disrespectful.
No, but listen, I understand it's completely disrespectful. But from a casual watching, if you want to get a casual fan interested, unfortunately, that's how
true,
people
but
do
that's
it,
not in the spirit of martial arts, though, isn't it? As in, the whole point is you're trying to teach young children on the street on that, martial arts is about discipline.
Yeah, that's
respect.
not good. Yeah, I understand.
And then
that's what I'm talking about.
Teaching them riling up children, swearing, and then the thing is,
that's
children
not
see
good.
that and they do that on the road, then they'll go to people, and then we complain about the abuse. I'm not saying they're to blame for that, but obviously people who look at the celebrities who they look up to, and
they're influencing by it. They're influenced by it. No, 100%. I understand. I understand the both parts. I personally don't. Like, I think there's a limit. You shouldn't talk about someone's dad or talking about someone's religion and all that.
I think they should have a pay cut for every time they swear at somebody's parents.
Maybe.
If you don't mind, I had a quick question. I've genuinely been intrigued by mixed martial arts for the last probably 4 to 5 years of my life. And one thing I've noticed in a trend, because I pretty much love UFC as well, but one thing I've noticed as a trend is that very recently, I feel ever since really Khabib came in the spotlight, a lot of the elite fighters from their division, heavyweight fighters, Kamaru Usman, this new Frances Ngannou, he's a very, very strong fighter, mashallah. Your Islam, they're all heavily lean towards adopting wrestling in the cage now. So I was wondering, I know you Kudo is full combat, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you normally start in the roll, you start on the ground. Would you not, based on the high elite fighters we're seeing, would you not agree that starting on the ground is probably where you should begin your training? Because it seems like all of them adopt it and it's very dominant in the ring.
Yeah, if you're thinking to go to the cage, yes. But I say always they mix everything. Because people can't strike, they try to go always ground straight away. Yeah.
So we need to be complete on both sides.
Complete both sides.
So you need to be able to take the fight there and take the fight there as well.
That's my plan. If I plan to go future like that for my fighters, I teach what I learn. Then I bring professionals in my club, train them for that. So that's my plan. So even I still learning as well. So we'll see.
And sorry again, not to take the limelight away from our host, but I think a good question to ask for a lot of people is like, I think this is relevant to like MASOOD and many people, is like, if you're very new to mixed martial arts, you've never done anything like this before, you've never gotten into a fight, especially like locally around Slough, how can you convince someone like that, you know, come to your first class basically? How do you invite them to your first class? Because everyone thinks, first class, I'm getting choked out. So how do you bring someone there and say, like, you know, it's not that bad? Every class basically you'll improve.
The main thing, if I say example, someone come new, I don't know give right answer for you. Someone come new, I'll put one experienced guy and help him. Not sometimes, you know, there's some kids, some boys not understand. They try to show their power. Even class, when you come new people, I put the experienced people who go according to his level. Not show your level for the new guy. So always you need to help.
Definitely. Now, the one thing that's always been very important, and just to touch on Sufyan's point when it comes to martial arts, especially in the club that we've been part of, Kudo as well, is the fighting is not the main priority. The main priority first is always that you're probably not going to end up fighting for a good couple of months if you come to a class. You know, you're going to be training, you're going to be building your stamina, building your technique. You know, you're going to be building confidence, and then you know, Sensei's always, he will encourage the student, you know, to maybe do some light sparring, maybe touch, and then naturally the instructor, or especially Sensei, they will gauge the students his desire to want to fight. Obviously, you know, if you come into the first fight, nobody is going to be able to come into the club the first day and start fighting. Maybe 3-4 months down the line, where they're more confident, they got more technique under the belt, and they have the option. Do you want to fight? Do you want to try it? It's the confidence.
I always ask them, when you're ready, when you're confident, stand up. Okay. Until that, you just train. That's the way. Even when I always teaching, when I do the different martial art, they have a belt system and keep this class separate. But my point, I keep adults, juniors, new, old, same place. Reason, when they train together, one thing, the adults, the senior need to improve himself, right? Sometimes junior is good, new guy is very good. So it's challenge for him. So when I junior fight with the advanced belt, he have no fear. So you can say sometimes, say example, my blue belt, brown belt start fight. I tell brown belt, always remember, you go according to the blue belt fighter. You don't want to show your belt level for this fighter. So then, this is the way I take the fear of my fighters.
But then you tell the blue person to be able to
he
fight.
He can go harder. Yeah. He can go harder because he's a senior. He can try. Doesn't mean he need to attack back. So he need to protect his level, brown belter. If he beat him, that's bad for him, not the junior.
Has there ever been a case where someone's taken sparring too seriously, when they've got angry or they punched someone properly, and it's ever been the case? What do you do in that situation?
That doesn't happen yet in my club.
Oh, okay.
Because
fair enough. You keep it under control.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what obviously Sensei has always been very particular about that. You know, when you're training, I remember when I was, like I said, I used to lose control all the time. There would always be a chopping of the fight. You know, you'll be training, stop again, stop again. Because obviously when the aggression gets too much, then nobody wants to spar with you, nobody wants to train with you, nobody wants to fight with you, because they're like, this guy is going to come and injure me. So there's always that level of respect that like, I remember when I was young and I used to train, Sensei would always be like, stop, you need to relax, you need to calm down, and that is something that's in your head. So now that I've come back to fight a long time, that last week we went back training, in my ears I could hear, you know, saying about, like he wasn't saying it, but I could hear it in my ears. And obviously there's that level of respect.
Just chill out for a bit.
Chill out, relax, you know, calm down, you know. Okay. You're not coming to knock anybody, you're coming to training. Yeah. I think one of the biggest things in martial arts is control. Even in an actual fight, for example, in jiu-jitsu, a lot of people think when you go on the floor, it's all about running around, and no, it's a lot of discipline, control, breathing, making sure where your arms are. And there's a level of discipline that's required, even in an actual fight. Even when you're actually trying to knock the person out, even there, you have to be very calm. You have to be. You'll see in UFC when people take it personally, they start fighting. Yeah. They'll start throwing punches, but they won't have no technique to it. And the other fighter will just, will use that to their advantage. I think one thing Khabib was really good at, no matter how angry he was in the cage,
he was cool.
He was always in control of the fight. Yeah. That was very important. Even
when he was fighting McGregor, he was so stone cold.
he was
stone
you
cold.
could tell he was really
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah, you could
but
tell.
he didn't. And I think there was a point in the fight where Khabib did lose it for a second,
Yeah.
and he started throwing some punches, and he received a blow back on himself because he lost control. But then straight away, when he realized he needed to control the fight, he controlled the fight, and that's the
Yeah.
most important thing, that you need to be in control of everything. Not because when your emotions take control, then you're no longer in control of the fight. I think your emotions start controlling the fight.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Because the discipline of your emotions, and I think if you have that, then it makes it better, basically, better.
So I'd say,
Yeah.
do you want to say anything to the viewers for the Kudo? As in, so obviously I know that you've got something planned, you've got something planned for, the future martial arts. I know you've got, I don't want to, expose that. You've got something planned, you've got something trained, and obviously we want it to be a big, let us know when you make that release. We're going to get behind you, we're going to let everybody know about that. What's your next year's plan? I mean, in terms of just Kudo alone, how many we've got? I know we've got a lot of young fighters. I think we've got close to 100, 150 fighters. I think there's a lot of students there. They're training, they're fighting. I think everybody who's been in martial arts in the locality has seen Kudo in one way or another. What would you like to tell parents? What would you like to tell people? Should they join the club? If they should join the club, why should they join the club? Why should they choose Kudo over any other martial arts? Do you think Kudo is a superior martial arts compared to other martial arts?
Some people want to do the self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want to do competition, right? So everybody, even parents or anyone, always need to be disciplined. And martial art, or even they go gym, that's got something have to do on sports. But self-defense is very important anyway. So this is the thing changed my life actually, right? Because you have a control yourself and change the personality. That's the important thing. Because home working is not life really. You need to make it's a Islamic, like say, aman in your body as well. You need to look after your health.
How important do you think martial arts is for women, for girls, women? How important do you think that is?
It's important. At the end of the day, most of the ladies stay home. They need to do some activities as well. Not about the competition. They need to keep self-defense and health for the fitness as well.
Do you think Kudo will ever have the facilities to allow women to come and train?
Inshallah, we'll see if we create one female instructor soon. Then there will be separate class for
Separate
women.
classes, yeah, definitely. I think I think there's a need. I think especially with statistically, I can't remember the statistics. So I don't want to say it. Maybe it's fine. We can check this and maybe put it up. Like there's a certain percentage of women, like when they're in night times, they are statistically more vulnerable to be attacked, and I don't know what the statistic is. And I think it's very important, especially with the current media and news. I think for women to have a certain level of at least ability to be able to defend themselves to a certain extent and evade the situation. Because there's been so many circumstances where women have broken down on the side of the road, or they've been walking in the night time, they've been attacked, they've been robbed, they've been raped. So all of these things, I think they should have the capacity to train themselves. I think maybe down, one thing that maybe Kudo will have in the future plans will get a female instructor and have a.
Shall I tell you for answer for that? So make sure they need to go with the brother, husband. Yeah,
sometimes that brother or husband doesn't know how to fight either. You're both screwed.
Imagine someone walking with MASOOD.
No. I'll run the way I'm fast.
It's important for everybody actually, because especially the Muslim people not going for all the clubs because there's different situation. So we have the even ladies glide tickets as well. The limit, inshallah. Yeah, we'll plan that one as well soon.
Definitely. So, do we have any competitions coming up from Kudo anytime soon? Do we have any fights coming up? Is any students fighting anytime soon?
I have a little competition under 18 March.
For March.
Right. Southeast England. I do little competition, and we have a world championship in Japan May.
Okay. We've got fighters lined up for that, haven't we?
Looking forward to it.
Good.
Cool. Shall we wrap this up?
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, I think I wanted to say, obviously. I'm going to be training with you today, so I'm going to see you in a couple of hours anyways. We're going to be training in the dojo.
Maybe decide to go Japan. May. He should fight one actually because it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the MOHSIN. Few brothers are starting beginning of the Kudo. They're very important for me anyway because I'm glad MOHSIN back again. Yes.
I'll be there soon, inshallah.
Yeah. We've been part of Kudo a long time. I mean, we've been there. The journey was long. I remember our sensei saying, we should train on the cement. We went too far. I remember when we started Kudo, we should train on the wooden floor. Do you remember? There used to be that wooden floor. You should get smacked on. So there was
crazy.
But that was good. Though, it's conditioning is a big part of martial arts. Conditioning. If you're too used to being on softer surfaces, when you get hit, with a thigh kick or something, you don't have the capacity to absorb that. So conditioning is very important. But no, it's been...
Yeah, when you go for street somewhere, you're not going to put in the pad,
Yeah, it's true.
You're not going to put the chin pad and gloves.
One second, before I get beaten up, let me just take out my shin pads, bro. You know what I mean?
No, it's been a great pleasure, Sensei, having you on today. I'm sure we're going to have you on again. We've learned a lot about the discipline of martial arts, your story, your how you came into martial arts, the different types of martial arts. We've discussed all sorts of things. So this podcast is going to be out in a couple of weeks. In one of the Fridays. So guys, keep a thing out. And MASOOD, any closing remarks from you?
No, Sensei, thank you so much for your time. And thank you.
Jazakallah for inviting me.
Okay, guys.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon. Assalamu alaikum.